America has a problem.
Pick up another you call in the parking lot in Tucson. Are you with me? We're standing with the roof gone. I pull up like Jimmy Neutron. We can never get a move on. Like you haul, and I know you need to go slow.
Hold on, y'all. Okay. Hey, you guys. Welcome in. How are you guys doing? Okay, so this is going to be, I'm trying to make this quick. So we are doing, EJ King Johnson is having a conversation with Carlos, and he talks about the things. Good morning. He talked about the things that he went through, how people felt like Magic, because Magic Johnson is his father, you know, Cookie is his mom, and how they wanted him to be, you know, society wanted him to be a basketball player like his father. And he like, no, like, I'm just who I am. Yeah, I put on a dress. So we're going to do a recap of that. And I'm going to try to hurry up because I know I think I moved my Brianna thing at 12:45 to discuss as well. Hold on, let me share my screen. And we're going to talk about that. We'll do a recap on that. Sorry y'all hear me sniffing. I think it's that bleach, child.
It's very important, I think, too, when you're...
Hold on. I'm about finished with my hair, y'all. 10 bundles take a lot. 2 days.
I hate the term coming out, but I think when you're telling people about who you are telling them. I'm not looking for acceptance. I'm not looking for your validation. I am telling you what's going down.
Breaking news!
Carlos King.
Your boy going viral again.
The godfather of reality television. Carlos King.
Hey, Raindrops. Thank you all so much who have subscribed to the channel. You guys have really helped spread the word, build this channel together, because, you know, I can't do this without you guys. And I know y'all want me to interview a lot of people, child, but in order for me to do that, I need to make sure my subscribers match the millions of people who do watch my videos. So all you have to do, okay, is hit the subscription button. That's it. I ain't asking for much, child. And enjoy this video.
Raindrops, on today's episode of Reality with the King, let me tell y'all something. We are here with royalty.
You want to file free?
Oh, come on.
Hit it.
Oh.
And that's the motherfucking truth. Because, listen, this person has been in our lives for like almost 2 decades. And I'm so grateful and thankful that they are here so that we can like really get to know them. So ladies, gentlemen, gays and days, give it up for the iconic EJ Johnson.
I can't with gays and days. I love that.
I'm very inclusive.
That's very hilarious.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
You are stunning.
Thank you.
You are.
They lost a lot of weight.
I finally get to meet you.
Yes. We met almost a year ago.
Lost a lot of weight. He was bigger than that. He kept his weight off. He don't look too, you know, not too small. He don't look sick. None of that. Because, you know, y'all, they hitting them Ozempic out here like crazy.
Ago now, only via Zoom.
Only via Zoom.
Yes.
And I fangirled a little bit. But now we're in person, and let me tell you something, baby. It's everything in person. It's everything. But how are you?
I'm amazing.
You look amazing.
Yeah, it's a great way to start the new year. I'm so excited.
Yes. Yeah. So listen, we're in New York City, which is I'm hearing is like your new playground.
Well, it's my new home. I live here now. So I'm back. I was here. I went to school here, but like, my heart's here. Like, I have never had a love affair with LA. That's just the place I'm from. But like, me and New York have a relationship. We just broke up and then we got back together. Yeah. We both had to grow and like do our own things, but like now we're back. But like New York's like my man. Like, you know, we had to get back together.
Okay. All right. And now is it a monogamous relationship in New York City? You're not
No. I think like we're kind of like all over the place because I also love Europe. I adore Paris, and I'm sure at some point I'll live there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But right now you're just like.
But right now I'm very happy to be here, and plus I'm only like 6 hours from Paris or London or wherever, so I'm good.
Good. Listen, I am so thrilled to talk to you because number one, listen, you don't do. I feel like eating interviews.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been a while. I mean, I was doing a lot of growing like in this time, but I was like, I think it's very important. I think especially for people who have like lengthy careers and they change and stuff. Like it's very important to have some time to yourself. And so like it's exciting for me to like get back out there as like the highest version of myself. And like it's just been an exciting journey just in the past couple of months. And so like I'm excited to have this like first interview and then like excited for some more after this.
So is 2026 about to be like the comeback of EJ Johnson?
Yeah, this is like the emergence of like Miss Thing. You know what I'm saying? Like she's back. But you know what? I will say that like EJ never really fully arrived until now. And I thought about that a great deal in anticipation of this interview. But I was like, because I knew you were going to probably ask something like that. But to be honest, like EJ is fully here. Like I think before I was so young at that time, at the time of, you know, being on E and all of that, when that first spotlight hit. I mean, I was like 20. Like, you know, I had a lot of self-work to do. And now after doing all of that and like, you know, taking my time to really just to fall in love with myself, I'm like, with everything, the balances are zeroed out. We're checking all the boxes and like, I'm fully here.
Yes. And I could tell that again, especially during our earlier conversations via Zoom. And I knew it was like the right time to have this conversation with you because I do feel like when it comes to you, which I give you so much props on, seriously, you still have this level of anonymity when it comes to, there's a lot of people, although, you know, you had a reality show, you were on it for so many years, you still kept your private life fundamentally private. And there are just things about you that I feel like you always protected. And that's good because, listen, when it comes to the offspring of celebrity parents, you know this. You see some of the unfortunate things that occur with them. But I always felt like with you, you always did your best to make sure, you know, to sort of protect your identity and really not just be out there for the sake of being out there.
Yeah, that never really interested me, to be honest. And like, honestly, like even when I was on camera, like I would fight the producers whenever they would push something on me that I didn't want to do or wasn't me. And they were like, oh, well, you know, it doesn't matter that's not you, you know, because somebody in the middle of in the middle of the country or somewhere randomly will get it. And I'm like, no, but I'm not doing it because I wouldn't do that. Like this has nothing to do with some random person somewhere that's not here who's supposed to be laughing or understanding what you're asking me to do. You know, that was never, I always had like a pretty strong sense of self and things that I knew I liked that I wanted to portray and like things that didn't. But, you know, to be honest, it's like so much has changed even, you know, since then. And like, you know, even seeing these celebrities like cry and on, you know, Instagram lives or, you know, just like put so much personal business out there. And then they want to get mad when everyone's in their business and commenting on everything they're doing. And I'm like, but you let them in. Mm-hmm. And so I always keep a boundary. And like, there's nothing more, honey, in my life right now than the boundaries that are the most powerful. I don't care who you are. You have to keep your distance. If I don't know you like that, if we don't have some kind of a real fundamental relationship, you're over there. Like, I don't play that.
Run Windows, Linux, and more on your Mac with unmatched performance and compatibility.
Good for you. It took me to be in my 40s to get there. So kudos to you for already figuring that out.
I mean, it just like, I think I just like learned through experience. To me, I'm just like, I had a lot of friends who I thought were my friends, you know, over the past couple of years who had to go because they just like, so did not have the, you know, the best intentions for me, not pure, totally wanted their hooks in. And like, I had to wake up and I had to get to work, and I just been like, okay, all of you have just got to go. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, I'm not even like, oh, maybe no, you gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to go back a little bit because I want this interview to be just about you.
Yes.
Dude,
what else is there to talk about?
Yes, because I really just feel like when it comes to you, there's a lot of people who just don't know much about you. So I would love to spend this hour, with that intention.
Absolutely.
So who was E.J. Johnson growing up? California, obviously your father is Magic Johnson, your mother is the beautiful Cookie, but like you're the oldest. Who were you growing up in that world as a young boy?
Honestly, like it was very difficult. And, I talk about a lot about this, like with other people, growing up, in all the bougie, elite schools that I went to, and like all of the children that I went to school with in LA were, industry elite. So somebody's parent was always doing something, even if they just had money for the sake of having money. But it's very difficult to be born in someone's shadow. It really is. And like, no one talks about that right now. It's like, oh, like, the industry is glamorizing, the Nepo babies. And at the same time, demonizing it too, because then everyone is mad that like, they think that we all have like a leg up or something. But honestly, like it is very difficult to come into the world, and what you want doesn't really matter because it really only matters what plays well for whoever the spotlight is on. Yeah. And that was very difficult to navigate as a child. And even as a young adult, honestly, it was weird. It definitely took a lot of time to just like find myself and all of that. And then just be like, hey, like, your spotlight is over here and mine is over here. And like, the only thing I have to do in this lifetime is focus and nurture me and what's going on over here. And you do that over there. But yeah, like that was a lot for the child. But like, like I was always just running around, prancing around in skirts and doing the most, as a kid. And like, I think I found a lot of...
One thing that Magic and Cookie didn't do, they didn't shield him from being who he was. They let him be himself. They didn't come on here. They didn't parade. They just was like, listen, if that's who he is, that's who he gonna be. There was no judging of what it was, because what was the sense of doing that for what? Like, and a lot of people got so much to say about Dwayne Wade, and all. Let me tell you something. Even when they get older, they're going to do what they want to do, regardless if you like it or not. You don't want them to not have children out of marriage. They're going to goddamn do it. You don't want... There are some of y'all that be judging and say, what my child wouldn't do, be running around here with 4 or 5 baby mamas or 4 or 5 baby daddies. We have seen it. They're going to be who they want to be. The best thing for you as a parent, you don't have to agree with it, but you can love them through it. If people forgave you, and I can't stand when parents say, oh, I can't go by that. God don't like that. God didn't like you laying with Mr. Pookie, aka Gerald, and made a baby with him, knowing God darn well that man was somebody else's husband. Come on now. God don't abide by that either. Everybody, like they say, you got to worry about your own stone. Who gonna cast the first one? Because nobody ain't without sin. Let's just be real. So regardless, you might not have wanted them to grow up to be the biggest rug, whatever, and they did. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own path of what they got to learn. Just like as parents, we do our best. But if they have to go down that journey to learn, support. Because you had to go through that same journey. You didn't come out here, oh, I'm the great. You didn't come out here to do that. You be right there. You hold their hand. You let them know right from wrong, and you keep going. And I'm glad that they taught him to have some compassion. He has morals. He ain't out here with everybody. He's just being him. He hasn't, I haven't heard nothing bad about him at all. He did that show. He didn't like how he was on the show, so he left.
Even at those young ages, I found a lot of security just like hanging out with myself, because like it was just like a very you know, awkward coming into my own and trying to find myself in the world that kind of like told me that like I wasn't allowed to like exist the way that I wanted to exist. So I gained a lot of self-confidence just like playing by myself because like that's where I felt safest. And it ended up, you know, ultimately like being one of my greatest attributes because like now it's like I'm like this with myself and like no, I'm unmovable, unshakable, you know, invincible. You cannot upset me or do anything, you know, externally because I'm 100% right here.
When did you realize you were gay?
You could get instantly approved for up to $4,000. Shop for anything you want in store or on.
Pretty early on, honestly. Like I don't even, I wasn't one of those people who ever tried to be straight. You know, like I talked to a lot of, you know, like obviously the gays that, you know, either that I grew up with or like ended up being friends with, but like I would say like 90% of them, you know, had girlfriends or lost their virginities to women. And like, I really never tried. Like it was, it really like, it wasn't an option. I don't think I would have taken myself seriously, even at that young age, to be honest. Like I could never see myself as like dating a girl. Like, I don't even think I could, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't convince myself to do it. So therefore I was like, girl, you can't convince the world to think that for you. But definitely like 11, 12.
Oh,
for sure.
Okay.
Like when, you know, you start to have those feelings and stuff. But honestly, I think like the feelings were just so strong that like I just kind of like knew it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, probably like the 8th grade, like the summer before I went into high school, like I really like got serious with myself about it. And we were like, you know, this is it. You know, it's like, I don't know, like I just was kind of like, this is who we are. I remember that like very specifically, like just like taking like those last couple of weeks before I had to go back to school. And I was like, this is it. And then I felt so much freer. Like when I got into high school, like I just was like so much more like definitely coming into my own because like at school, like I just like didn't care. Like I didn't hide it. I didn't pretend. Like everyone knew and everyone was cool. And, you know, it was cool.
And the first person you told was your mother, correct?
No,
in terms
my
of family,
friends. Definitely my friends.
Yeah.
But no, my mom. Yeah, my mom kind of like interrogated me when I was like in 10th grade.
Do you remember what she was asking you?
We were on vacation in Hawaii, and she was asking me because like I had another friend who came with me, and he's also gay, or I should say attracted to men. I don't really use those kind of labels on myself anymore, but we were just checking all the hot guys. I mean, we were doing what the girls do. They were everywhere, and we were, you know, talking and looking, and she noticed. And then she was like, I think this is probably something we should talk about. Like, what's going on? And I was like, well, I think this is it. You know, this is what I like, you know? And I think she was like fine in the beginning, but then I think it took her some time after that. Cause like, she was like, it was just weird because it was, you know, she had her church. So it was like a lot of going against like what she had been taught. And I think that for both of them, it was that kind of a struggle because they were not people that know how to think outside the box. Like they're not, oh, this is new. Oh, this could happen. Or like, this is okay. Like, you know, we can adapt. It was very like, they're very strongly like, okay, like this is how it is. And this is black is white. And this is this and that's that. And a lot of boxes. And so I think like I really came up against all of that, like, you know, as in my coming of age story. And to be honest, like I never saw anything wrong with it. Like I never thought I was wrong with anything that I did. Like even when I was a kid and like they were like, well, you can't wear skirts. And I was like, well, why not? You know, it's like my inner being was like, there's nothing wrong with this, especially if I look cuter than any girl does. Like, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue? And that's exactly how I apply it to myself to these days in the way that I present, like in my, you know, in my feminine regalia. You know, I've always been a feminine being, and like that's just like how I best express myself. But I'm like, listen, I'm out all the time, you know, and like I'm killing a dress and no one else is. Like the girls in the room are not doing it. Like they don't look cute. They're not dressed to any nines. So, you know.
I love it. You know what's so funny? Because obviously, so our parents are from Michigan. So your story I can relate to. And again, I'm obviously much older than you. I could be your older big brother, but I can relate.
You're almost the age as my brother.
Oh
yeah.
Are you 40?
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
40 something too.
So, you know.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I have this theory because my father, and I've said this publicly, and he's fine with it because I had to ask permission because I was like, I don't want you to think I'm gonna use my platform to blast you, and we're fine. But he was very, very much so like close-minded, born in 1949 in Detroit, Michigan, and was like, my Black son, and I'm one of 6. I have 6 brothers.
Wow.
And it's 10 of us total.
Wow.
Right?
Oh my God, that's just like my dad's family.
So I'm saying it's so parallel. So he was just like, so I knew, unfortunately, that my femininity was not going to be accepted. And I have this theory about Black mamas, because I feel like Black mama know their kids, child. And although I came out very late, I came out at 25.
That's not that bad.
Well, because well, nowadays, the girls are coming out, baby, at 7.
Yeah.
Right? Which I'm like, go right ahead. But my mom, very sweet, rest in heaven, she was like, you sure? And I said, girl, you knew. And she was like, well, didn't want to assume. And she was like, you going to tell your dad? Because he's been asking about it ever since you were 5 years old. He asked me every year. And I'm like, I'm not telling him. So I didn't tell him until much later. But I can relate to you in terms of like having parents who just wasn't really sort of like, who got it. But when it comes to...
He right about parents gonna know about their kids. Like mine. I know I'm not gonna be a grandmother until he about in his 30s. My son already said he don't want no kids, but he do want to be in a relationship or marriage. And he was like, "Listen, with my wife, I want her to not want kids. We can have fur babies. We don't have to rush to have kids. We don't want kids." That's what he had in life. And I say, "You sure?" He was like, "Yeah." Now I don't think I can do it, but I'll get an animal. So yeah, I figured that was gonna happen. Now, do I feel like maybe he'll give me one and I'll be fine with that? Absolutely. Because it's just him. So, he'll probably give me one. He'll probably give me one grandchild. That's it. And the fur babies. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to be a fur grandmother. I already see it. One child and the fur grandmother. He ain't, that's it for him too. I see that happening. And yeah.
You obviously, you're not just any kid. Your namesake says it all. Did you ever feel like the sort of like image you had to uphold being the namesake of your dad?
I think that's what they tried to teach me. That's what I was raised to believe that. But especially now, I'm free of all of that because like I said, it's like I've totally ripped myself away from anyone's namesake besides my own, And I don't even. EJ Johnson specifically is the only person that I'm fully responsible for and fully looking out for, and that has given me so much peace. Like you have no idea. But I think in the beginning, especially like even when I'm stepping out into my own spotlight, it was still like a lot of that of trying to put me in that box as trying to make us like one unit. And like, I think I used to get really annoyed with that. And I hear about a lot of that, too, from other kids who are in the same predicament. And it weighs on them heavily mentally because it's like, you can't find yourself when you have to look at your own life through the lens of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it was definitely like I was brought up to believe that, but I definitely ripped myself away from that and let him do him and I'm doing me.
How did you feel when TMZ outed you back in, I want to say it was like 2013? And because when you think about it right now, it's so inappropriate because...
Yeah, it's very funny. It's funny because it's like, it definitely looked at now would be like highly inappropriate. Like you could never out someone like that. You know what I'm saying? But to me at the time, it was just like, it just happened.
They told
I don't know, like
it
was one of those overnight success moments. But like I was ready because
Yes. My son said it. He says it's expensive. Like now now that he's getting older, he look at the price of stuff. He's like, oh, that might not be too expensive. And he'll think like, would that matter later? Would it be worth to get it because of that? Yeah. My niece, she told my sister, I'm not having any grandchildren for you. I might adopt, but I'm not having any until I know for sure that I have a home, I have an education, me and my husband are educated, and we can buy homes. When we can be able to buy homes, I give a child. I say, oh, okay. So they had it in their mind. They say they'll get animals, but when they know there's the stability wise, yeah.
Because I was living my life, so it wasn't like I was hiding.
I feel
anything.
like these two, once they get their passport, once they start traveling more, I believe my son and my niece are going to be gone, like just gone, like traveling, not going like the way y'all think, but traveling, like not home. Have 3 to 4 trips planned a year, maybe 2. That's what I'm saying. They look at what matters. They'll probably take a trip to the islands or out of the country. They're never gonna, they're gonna be one of them. I see it stressing me out in a sense of way.
Like it wasn't scary in that instance to feel outed in that way because I was living my life to the fullest. Like I was like totally like out in the sun, you know, doing what I do. So like that wasn't, you know, that wasn't like, it didn't like hit me to the left because of that. I mean, obviously I would have liked to come into the public in my own way, would have been nice, but you know, I don't even think about it.
That's good though, because I remember at the time, and again, this is back in 2013, which of course seems like ages ago, but it was such a big deal. And
that's also one thing I didn't understand. I was like, why is this such a big deal?
It was so you, well, and again, I'm glad that you have distanced yourself from that moment, but I remember, and again, in 2013.
He ain't lying. I was on, okay, so remember I told y'all yesterday, all the the bloggers that were coming out that was just getting their foot in and they were hitting big before social media. I would go on the sites and they would post them on Facebook because Facebook was a thing. So they would have links to it. I'll never forget they put that boy business out there like that. And I was like, oh, y'all didn't know that? Like, okay. And then it was like E-News, breaking news. He's did it. Oh, I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, if his mom all right, then what the hell is about it to anybody? And that's when it was, oh, he wore a dress. His daddy is a legend. And his daddy played basketball. He couldn't fight. I said, okay, good. I like that for him. Yeah, like we seen that with him. We already knew. We weren't judging, but you know, everybody else was. But we were kind of like, oh, okay, then that's nice. I'm glad he came out. I hope he happy. I haven't heard nothing bad. So, okay. Long as listen, I'm like this. Long as he's safe, whatever he does, he being safe. He's enjoying his life. And like he said, I have enjoying my life. That is great. I like that for him. He does modeling, fashion. He dressed a lot of celebrities. So a lot of them he dressed a lot of them. He does a lot. He's like a socialite. Yes, I agree. This new generation got to figure it out. They gonna listen. They already like, no. These new generations coming out the womb like, not today.
Look, I believe I was openly gay. Like, I think I was actually.
I mean, according to your math, you would have been.
Right. I'm like, I think I was. But I remember being like, wow, this is number one, inappropriate. But I also remember
that's really interesting that you picked up on that. Because I feel like nobody nobody did that until later, I think.
And I think a lot of it for me is being in the Black community and just knowing how dangerous at that time it was for us, because I grew up at a time where, you know,
that too. But he does dress people though. He does. And by showing up, like he get paid to show up to like them runways and stuff. They pay him to be there. He found a way to make his coin. I ain't gonna be mad at him though.
Being outed, it is dangerous because if you're not ready, you can't deal with the ramifications that comes along with it. So I just remember looking at you.
Even the people who did it on their own accord never went much further in their careers at that time, especially those athletes. Like they were like, okay, and then wiped away.
That's
like
true.
completely and utterly.
Think about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that basketball player.
Yes.
And that football player.
Yes. I remember.
They were like, oh, you think you're gonna play after this? No. Like,
wait a minute.
Totally dismissed.
Oh.
Because I've met both of them. Both of them were very nice, but it was like they had that 5 minutes, but it's like, you know,
somebody get caught.
The industries didn't allow that to continue.
No, especially back then. I mean, look, I think even like now with the show Heated Rivalry, have you seen it?
I saw the first episode. Yeah.
Here's how it works. First, go to riverside.fm and open an account, and then you'll be able to capture high quality.
Yeah.
You know,
it was a little, I mean, like, it was a little like soft core for me. Like, I was like, okay. I mean, you know, Liz, I mean, I think it's like cute for the culture for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, especially like the young kids, like they love things like that. Because I used to watch that I watched the Heartbreaker series on Netflix, which was so cute.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, and then like, what was the Victor? The one on Hulu?
Oh, like Love Victor.
Love Victor, yes. Yep. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this would have been great. Yeah, when I was that age, like to have that as a kid, a teenager, or like a young, you know, a kid, like would have been so nice. But I only I had oh my God, Noah's Ark. That came out when I was like 12 or something, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it. It was so pivotal.
Yeah, shout out to Patrick Pope.
Yes, I love him.
No, he and I are friends, and I said to him too. And at this time, I want to say I'm in my 20s, and I just remember being like, finally, there's something. And that's why when I saw you in 2013, I felt for you, and I felt how inappropriate TMZ was, but also said, bitch, work, because baby, fashion, the labels.
I don't even remember what I was wearing.
And it was something in black, but you know what it was? You, even then, I mean, you have it now still, and I love that it never dissipated. You always just had this extreme confidence about yourself. And I was always curious, like, where did that come from? Because again, for a lot of Black gay men who try to be themselves, we don't have that confidence oftentimes. But then for you, I'm like, he's in the spotlight, and you to me, you owned it, and you grabbed that torch, and you haven't like blown out the fire ever.
I don't know. I think I like I said, I was like, I think I spent, when I was used to hang out with myself a lot, I'm just saying, like, I really, you know, really got to see myself fully, which is such a powerful gift. And right now, I mean, like, and even now, it's like I see myself like completely clear. You know, like they have that saying where they say, you know, other people can see you better than you can see yourself. But like, when you can see yourself better than everyone else can see you, you win.
Mm-hmm. And
I really think I always felt, and I always saw myself better, and like in my truest form, kind of a little bit better than everyone else. Now it's like completely better. The clarity is like through the roof. But at that time, I was still, you know, quite young. But yeah, like, I mean, I enjoyed being fabulous. Like when I was in college, that was my college time. And like, we dressed up and we went to the club and we went to the, you know, the most fabulous parties. And that's just like, you know, who I was. Like, that's just who I always loved to be, you know? And like, that was just very like, you know, of that time. And
I mean, you can say that.
You need the confidence.
You can say that.
Definitely needed the confidence to survive, you know? Now you can just have it. But at that time, it's like, you really needed it to like survive, for sure. because otherwise, like, you know, everyone was just going to like walk all over you, or, you know, like make fun of you or do whatever. And you know, I think it's just really important to, you know, to do that self work, to find yourself, especially when, you know, you're not living in a conventional way, or the way like society says that you should.
Hey, CC,
Is that when the E producers called you to do Rich Kids of Beverly Hills around that time?
It was a little bit later. But that happened really by chance. Like I actually, that same night, I believe that was the first night I met Dorothy, and that a couple months later, I think like over the summer or something, like she was like, "Oh, we're having this pool party. Do you want to come?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then she's like, "Oh, but we're filming a television show." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, cool. So like I went to her house and they mic'd me, and, you know, we just shot this pool party. Like, I honestly, again, I wasn't thinking anything. I didn't even remember what I was saying. Like, you know, they were asking us to talk about our, you know, like our glamorous summer vacations. I think we had us, you know, they set us by the pool and we did one scene where we were like all talking about our summer vacations. But to be honest, like I wasn't in, you know, like the bigger parts of the pilot. This was the pilot of the scene. So like I really didn't think. And then they called me a couple of weeks later and they were like, "Oh, do you want to like be a series regular?" And I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. Like I wasn't a part of this. Like I just came as a guest." And that's how it happened.
Oh yeah, I remember
But it was kind of like, you know, one of those just like random chance things.
He was supposed to be a friend of the show. They wanted him on the show. I think he did like 1 or 2 seasons and that was it. I don't think he came. I'm sorry. He didn't come back after that. He said, "Oh,
Did you have aspirations to be in the spotlight?
I was exploring. I had met with a couple of like networks and stuff at the time. So I was definitely exploring that, because like I remember like when I used to watch like the Real Housewives, like I remember like I think Beverly Hills performed while I was came out like while I was in college. And I think my friend and I were watching it, and I was watching it, and after it ended, I looked at him and I was like, "Bitch, I can do that." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "I can do that. Like I can do that better than any of these bitches. Like I can fucking do it." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Yeah." And then literally like it just ended up happening. It just manifested for myself.
You know, that's Kim Kardashian's story.
Oh, is it?
Not with Beverly Hills, but she watched The Real World. So mind you, it wasn't like a job or a career, right?
Right.
But she watched The Real World and she told her friend, like, "I'm going to be that." And her friend was like, "What is that?" She said, "Whatever they're doing, being regular on TV and famous, I'm going to do that." And we see where she's at now. So you watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I'm assuming Lisa Vanderpump was in the... was she a part of it?
No, she was there. Because this was the very first.
Yeah.
This was the very first season. Yeah, but she and Adrienne Maloof were her neighbors in Beverly Hills. So like I was like, I wanted to watch because I knew that, you know, the neighborhood was going to be on it.
Was that your neighborhood too?
Yeah, I grew up in the same. My parents lived there, like in the same neighborhood in Beverly Hills. That they don't live there anymore, but at the time they did. But yeah, her and Kyle and all those people were hilarious. But yeah, like I literally did that. I remember vividly. We were sitting there and it ended, and I literally was like, "I can do that shit." And it happened.
I love the manifestation of all that story.
I know.
So when you did Rich Kids of Beverly Hills, did you feel like, okay, this is my time to like show the world who I am, and, you know, for me to venture off into like my newfound profession?
Truthfully, I really did not overthink it at that time. It kind of just was like, it was here. I was like, I'm going to take the advantage of it. Because you have to remember, this was way before the brand deals and, you know, all the products. And like, this was way before any of the bitches were doing any of that. So like, it wasn't as strategic because you were just kind of seeing like, well, what, you know, and even like my managers and, you know, agents at the time, it was very much like whatever sticks works. Whatever box they put you in, that's who you're going to be. Like that's, you know, like it was very up to the industry.
Before Instagram, because now it's brand deals and we start to see booty cheeks and everything else. That was just how it was. It's up to the industry what you gonna do. And now it's different. They look at your Instagram, they look how you is, they look at your photos, your videos, this and yeah. I remember when Instagram popped off, a lot of y'all people that y'all liked it on Instagram when they first started, like Pretty V, B Simone, all of them, they start getting picked for movies and stuff because Instagram was a thing and that's how they looked at their stuff. And now it's going back into after that. And, you know, Jess Hilarious and all, they're like, yeah. So now they're going back to that because a lot of y'all people from Instagram was getting on reality shows. I was surprised when I seen LaToya Forever. I was like, finally. LaToya Forever been on YouTube for years. Okay. Aaliyah J, I was ready for her to do some. Kyra just got a mainstream with Shea Moisture commercial. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? These girls been online for years. So they deserve that.
This was not like, oh, I'm going in here with the game plan. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. Da, 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 da. No, that's now. That's how you play the game now. But then it was all about whatever you throw at the wall and whatever sticks. That's how it works. But like I came in and they were like, okay, well, you know, you're the peacemaker. Like, you know, you're the mother hen. You're the one who's going to get all the bitches together when they're all fighting and doing all these crazy things. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, I guess that's what I'm doing.
How old were you at the time?
The first season, I think I was 20.
Wow.
I think I was 20. And I think I turned 21 that summer, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think it came out the following fall, I think, or somewhere in there.
To be 20 years old on this show.
Yeah, to be 20 years old on the show was like crazy. But it was fun. It was fun at the time. It was fun, you know, and I think we made it look, you know, fun and glamorous, and it was just new because like they had, all the networks had been desperate to find like the kid version of the Real Housewives, like the young version. And we were that. And then also they were trying to capitalize on Instagram because Instagram, you know, all the rich kids of all that Instagram, you know, they wanted to turn that into something because that Instagram was like huge at the time. And so it was like both kind of those things like came together. It was like just one of those like full circle moments. And I just happened to be in the mix. But yeah, it was cute. It was cute. Well, it lasted.
And then you had your spinoff, EJ in the City.
Mm-hmm.
Were you at that time?
Has Kyrie texted you back?
I don't want to talk about it.
How was the math test?
Don't want to talk about it.
You need to talk to somebody. I talked to my Talkspace therapist.
Can't afford it, and still don't want to talk about it.
Talkspace is super affordable, with or without insurance. And when you don't want to talk, you can just text them.
I gotta watch out a couple of bundles.
Look, my therapist just texted me.
That's right. Therapy. Nothing wrong with therapy.
Excited about the possibility of being like, a bitch has his own show.
I think it was important. Definitely. We were definitely ahead of our time. Way ahead of our time. Like,
well, I knew that watching it.
It didn't hit me until I rewatched it like maybe a year or two ago. And I was like, girl, of course, like, you know, this couldn't have continued because you were talking about things like we were talking about being gender fluid and non-binary before that was even like a term. Like, I was like, oh, but you hit on that. Cause I was the one who wanted to push that, you know, that episode we did where I went to see the gender therapist and we discussed it. I was like, because like, I feel like this is an important thing to discuss. Like, I'm not just here to run around in fabulous outfits, even though the outfits were amazing, especially for like 23-year-olds. Oh my God. Shut down. But anyway, I was like, it's important that we talk about this because I'm also trying to figure it out. And I was like, that's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, that was actually my truth. And I love that part of it because like that was actually out of all of it, I think was like the most truthful part was actually like mirrored my reality. Cause I really was trying to figure myself out and like that scene reflected it.
Do you are there pronouns that you go by today, or how do you identify your sexuality?
I just say call me EJ as much as possible.
Okay.
You know, it's like pronouns I don't really like he, but like I've also trained myself not to get upset when other people use it, which I think is very important. Because you're giving your power away when you lose it. You know, you give words too much of personal power. You know, they is fine, you know, whatever. She is cool. Like I'm really not a stickler about it. I think for me, it was really just going on the journey to make sure that I wasn't like spinning out of control, like when I'm being misgendered, when especially a lot of the times people don't do it with an ill intention. Some people do.
And I feel like you know when it's ill intended.
Yes.
There's a tone.
Yes, there's a tone, and they'll keep repeating it.
Yeah.
They'll keep saying man or bro too many times, and I'm like, I'm not your bro. Like, you know, but it's usually just somebody you're never going to see again, so who cares? But yeah, like I said, I was like always a deeply feminine being, and like, you know, that's really all that matters to me. You know, it's like I'm extremely happy in this body. Like I love my skin. I love waking up and being me every day. Like it's a beautiful thing. Like to walk into the, you know, bathroom and see yourself in the mirror and you're just like that bitch. Like, yes. Like it's that for me right now. And so like, you know, I'm just living it. You know, I'm just loving it.
One of the biggest storylines on your spinoff was, you know, you and your sister liking the same guy.
Honestly, that is ultimately what got the show picked up. But also, you know, in terms of the gender and sexualities and stuff like that, it was very important because that happens. You know, I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. Like it's just not a thing.
Tell me more about that.
You know, I think like if you ask any of the girls, like they'll tell you the same. And I think they're just labels, you know, that's what, like, I don't care what, you know, like I'm dating someone. I'm like, I don't care what you identify as or what you call yourself, as long as you're happy being who you are. But no, but to be honest, it's like, that's why I don't go to gay clubs. I don't go to, you know, gay things, because it's like the men that I attract are not there. And also like, they're like, you know, they kind of like wave you off. You're just like, oh, that, you know, hey girl, like, you know, it's not, you're not in here like the rest of us are, you know. It's just, it's always, but I never really understood it until now, because before when I would go and I just was like, there's something about this room. It's like, it's almost like they don't want me here. Like I'm not really in it here because I'm not presenting as a man. I'm not presenting in that way.
And to be clear, the gay community room.
Yeah.
Your own community. Yeah.
But it's not like a shameful thing or just like, oh, they're mean to me. But it's like,
I have gay friends. And that's a true statement. With my gay homeboys, they feel like they say it. They feel like that's like it. It's hard for them to date too, honey. It is hard for them to date. But they say the same thing. They say the same thing. Hold on, I think my sister got my brush. I have plenty of them, child.
These are not my men in terms of attraction. Now, if I'm just going to have a kiki, sure. But like, these are not the men that are interested in me in that capacity. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
So... So has it always been that way for you in terms of when it comes to men? Has it always been what some people consider the straight guy always being the one that would approach you?
Or somebody who, has been intimate and dating, you know, women for most of their life or like up until then, for sure. Absolutely. It has always been that way, but now it's like even more so now that I definitely present in more of a feminine way. because also like it's like my energy is that.
Have your newfound, not newfound, that's wrong to use, has your sort of like, I like to call it a rebirth, because I feel like even talking to you now, you're like you said earlier, look, I know who I am. I love how I see in the mirror. I am shedding all of whatever I was there back then, who I am now. Has that cultivated a stronger relationship with your parents, or has it been challenging for you there too, just being, how you are now?
No, definitely well, not challenging. I think everything, honestly, in this era of my life has become so much easier. But even I told them on my birthday, in June, that I was like, we're not doing he, we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. Like, and it was very freeing. And also it just was, it just was like, I wasn't like, I'm not, and it's very important, I think too, when you're, and I hate the term coming out, but I think when you're telling people about who you are telling them. I'm not looking for acceptance. I'm not looking for your validation. I am telling you what's going down. And yeah, we had that conversation, and it was, it was very easy because I just told them, flat out, like I was like, this is, who I am, and this is how we're moving and grooving and going forward. And, even like son, I was like, the world tried to give me that label, like Magic Johnson's son. And I was like, well, he's dead. And now there is Miss Thing. Like, we're not doing that either. So, it wasn't like a big conversation, but I think what I loved about it was so easy, because we just said it and they were like, oh, okay. We'll do our best to understand that.
I'm beaming right now.
Yeah.
I bet you could tell, because I'm so proud of you. Not that you need me to say that, but I feel like you're freeing a lot of gay, or however they, like, because I agree with you, is however you identify yourself. But I wish growing up I had someone like you.
I think we all wish, at least we all wish somebody was there, no matter who it is, like somebody to say something, because like, especially between our years, like we didn't have anybody.
No, and that's why this conversation to me is so important, because people can watch this and say, finally, someone's saying something how I feel, because I got little, like, the hairs rose up on my skin when you said, I don't want to say coming out anymore. Like, this is who I am, and I don't even need your acceptance. Like,
I think it's important. It really is an important part of the discussion that no one, I don't think, is talking about. But like I said, you have to, if you're going to do something, do it for yourself, number one. And number two, when you go out, like, I think that's when everyone gets hurt, it's like, or everyone, has those traumatic experiences, because they're hoping, they're searching for the validation, or searching for the acceptance. And like, sometimes it doesn't come. And that's also okay. Like, if you need to be like, leave your home or leave your family, like whenever it is safe for you to do so, go, it's like, and also too, it's like that the idealized family, like, it doesn't exist. It is what you make of it. Like, you don't have to stay if everyone's treating you poorly. You don't have to be involved if you're not getting what you need. You don't have to do anything, honestly. And yeah, and I think like the image of, my family was nice and healing for the world, but it wasn't like I didn't struggle, there wasn't difficulties to get there, in terms of getting to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also too, it's like, you can't just like wipe away, just like understand that, like, sometimes they're there and then sometimes they're not. And that doesn't make it doesn't make your story any less, powerful. If you weren't given, if those, people aren't going to stand behind you and give you that love that you need, then go find some other people who will.
Yeah. I've always wanted to ask you this, because obviously, like I said, you're the offspring of a legend that is that was in a sport that is heavily male dominated, obviously, and just like, the locker room talk, and
masculine.
Yes, hyper masculine. And I just remember you know, when you emerged and all of the talks about like, you know, oh my God, Magic Johnson's son, instead of playing a basketball, he's wearing a dress and all those things. And a lot of it obviously was from the Black community. When it comes to the Black community, especially the gay Black community, did you feel like they accepted you?
Taxes was chasing updates and getting nowhere. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert, doing it all for you.
Well, again, I wasn't really looking. Like there was just so much, you know, that happened at that time that I wasn't like looking. Like I don't care about to be accepted in a community or to be a part of a community. You know, I think that I just wasn't in it. Like I wasn't a part, you know, when I was living my life, you know, growing up, it's just like I was, you know, I had school and I had all these places and I had my friends. It's like, if I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, these communities or these people are mad. Like, I'm like, let them be mad. But like, you know, like, I don't, you know, it's just like, I really could care less. That's all I have to say. You know, it's like, even when people were like, oh, you know, I think somebody asked me like, oh, well, what did your church think? Well, I was like, well, number one, I never had a church. Like my parents went to church, but like, I didn't go because I wanted to go. I wasn't a part of that community. I was there because I was made to be there. Like, you know, it is what it is, but it really doesn't matter. Like, who cares? Like, if your community is mad, then let them be mad. But I've always thought that was just stupid that they thought that, like, you know, I was supposed to be playing basketball or something. Like, first of all, like, do you know how difficult it is to become an NBA player? Like, number one, it's like, it's a very hard process. And like, if I wanted to do that, then I would have done it. But like, why are we even having this discussion? It's just so ignorant, you know? And like, it's so, you have to put in a lot of work to do all of that. Like, I'm sure LeBron James's son, I mean, like, you know, he's been playing his entire life, like, and now he's playing, you know, he's in the NBA. But I'm like, that's something you would decide very early on in life. And like, why are we talking about, you know, that has nothing to do with me. Or even like, you know, I've always, you know, when, you know, oh, well, Black men need to be this and need to be, you know, macho and need to be this. And it was okay. Well, okay, what does anyone's femininity have to do with that? Who's stopping you from being this macho Black man? Me or you? Because, you know, you're snapping your fingers in the air. What is stopping you, sir, from continuing to be you? What does you and me have to do with each other? Nothing. It doesn't make any sense. And I always would laugh if I saw that. I mean, I don't read any comments or articles, but like at that time when like people were bringing it to my attention, I was like, well, what's a stupid thing to say? Because I'm like, I'm not hindering you from going on and being some toxic masculine Black man. Like, I don't even know you. And it doesn't say anything about what it means to be a Black man in America. Has nothing to do with it. I'm not a man. So like, I don't even feel like a man. So I'm like, why? What's stopping you from going on and doing exactly what it is that you think you should be doing? Nothing at all.
Preach, honey, preach. What were your thoughts when you saw what Dwayne Wade's now daughter was going through, you know, transitioning into becoming the woman that she is now? Was it something that you could relate to? Did you reach out? Did you have a conversation?
Oh, we've met. I think twice. Not in any kind of like real like intimate setting, but just like, you know, at some fashion events, I believe. And I've met obviously Dwayne, and I think we spoke on Instagram, and we're just like, you know, if she needs anything, like, you know, you can definitely let me know. And she went to my high school as well. So yeah, we have some similarities, but I mean, it was just one of those things where it's like, you know, more power to you. You know, you got to do what you got to do. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, there's nothing really I can say or do, you know, because like, that's your journey.
Yeah.
And they also said some horrible and stupid things about her. You know, and the same thing, there were so horrible, stupid things they were saying about me. So it's like, here we are again. But it's like, you know, it's like, that's why when you narrow it down, it's like, I'm not going up against anything that I actually really need to be concerned about, because these are all everybody else's fears and everybody else's, you know, concerns and everybody else's viewpoints of the world that are being challenged by somebody living their truth or living their life the way they want to live it. Like, it's just absurd. It's just absurd. But I'm happy that she's happy. And I mean, I'm not sure what she's doing with her life at this point, but, you know, I wish her the best.
Yeah. Are you dating now?
I am outside. Definitely outside. I had to get a little more serious, though, I think, in this new year, for sure. I think before I was kind of just like enjoying myself and kind of just like dating to date. But now I'm being much more strategic about it. And it's like, if we're not actually going to enter into a relationship, then, you know, and I think that's where you have to put the boundaries up with the so-called straight guys, because they'll just try to like put you off to the side or like keep you in the dark. And like, I'm not living in the shadows anymore.
Have you ever dated somebody that was DL?
Sure, for sure. I think at the time it's just like you just are like, oh, well, you know, I'm just trying to be respectful, but really you're not doing yourself any respect.
Were they married?
No, I've never dated a married man or anybody in a relationship.
Okay.
It's just like they just weren't ready to come to terms with whatever they were doing. But that's what I was saying. I don't need you to come out or anything, but it's like, I'm not going to be hidden. So there's that, you know, and just having that self-respect and just, yeah, knowing that. But it's made everything a lot easier.
Right. True, but he is, I mean, we know that, but hey, he say that's how he feel. He's feminine, a lot of feminine, so he feminine, you know? Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I'm sitting here stressing. I forgot I had y'all on mute, looking for my brush. Just brought this brush. Very great pink detangle brush. I love it so much. The ones with the holes in it, the girls be using when they taking their hand in the shower and out the shower. Somebody go crazy. The brush was cost a little like $6, $7. Honey, I finally found it. Done fell off my bed. Sitting here trying to color these goddamn bundles. Yeah, I always say it's folks' life. They gotta live it how they want to live it. That's how they feel. That's how they feel. You know. Long as nobody hurt.
Have you ever been in love?
Long as nobody's getting hurt. Long as nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, a life is being threatened. I always say, live how you want to live it. Long as you're not out here, like I always say when we talk about the other person, being a dangerous person, live your life how you want to live. Don't be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? It's a time and a place to be dangerous. But sometimes, just doing crazy-ish, don't do it. You know, because it always results in some mess. You know, so that's just how I feel. Have fun. Have morals. Don't play Russian roulette with your life. And just live your life.
I think like probably at the time I thought so, but not like now that I'm actually like emotionally available and actually can fall very hard in love if given the opportunity, not in the way that I want to.
Okay. So you learning yourself. And
I haven't experienced in the way that I want to. So like that's definitely something I put into the energy for this year for sure. Because I'm ready. I wasn't ready before. You know, and I think that was just kind of like the maturity of it. And just like looking at yourself, you know, instead of saying like, well, why hasn't this happened to me? But it's like, you weren't ready.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't ready at all.
Do you have a type?
Yes.
I don't really have like a strict type. I will say like, I know I'm tall, but like I do like being with a tall man. Yeah. That I do. I like the sensation of that. But I'm also like very like intellectually inclined. Like I love a man who can hold himself and like speak well and like is entertaining and is like, really highly intelligent. Like I'm a conversationalist like that. So like that kind of like, especially, and also like a man with like a presence. Like I love a powerful presence. Like when you're like, ooh, he has it like that. Like I like that.
Have you ever dated like a celebrity?
I've never dated a celebrity, I don't think. I may have like hooked up with one or two.
What is that outside? What the hell?
In the shadows.
Rappers?
Fists and stuff?
Goddamn.
Never mind. Let me shut up.
I can't tell you all the tea.
Okay. I know, baby. I know.
I don't think there was a rapper. Might have been.
Because listen, no, because look, you, baby, the places I go, you ain't there, honey, because you are at the like.
Well, that's the thing about, like, so she was having celebrity crushes. Like, you can't do that because I actually do meet these people.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah,
and I've done that before, but like, oh, he is so fine. And then I meet him, I'm like, oh, like, oh no, like you are, very insecure, or you're very this, or you're very that. So it's like, I don't crush or.
Well, heck, I do that with people when I finally be like, oh, he cute. Oh God. So what's to say? I'm like, oh God. He opened his mouth. It come out his mouth. Ugh. Y'all, it's horrible. One wrong thing is said in a conversation, I'm just running out the door. I'm not even interested. The moment I see a red, and you know what my therapist said, if you see a red flag, it's my therapist, y'all. If you see a red flag, girl, I say, yeah, I'm running. Now it's quicker than ever. Usually it'd be like, let me have a call. Now it's, oh, hell no. So
glamorize anybody anymore because it's like I always end up, just being like, okay, no.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm just like, I'll just meet the person when it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's different when you are, coming into contact with the people all the time.
And the thing about you have a presence.
I love having a presence, but I like a man with a presence as well. Like I like feeling somebody's like powerful masculine energy. Like it's very intoxicating. But I do have a powerful presence, which intimidates a lot of men, which is great. But because it keeps the ones at bay. But that's why I can't do the apps because I can't gauge your energy through the phone. That's why I tried, but it's like I felt like they were so insecure, and just like it just like was not the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very important that I can gauge someone's energy when I meet them in person because presence is important.
Well, and you have tons of it.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
You really do. I know you in a room, EJ. I know you be. I can already tell. The moment you lock eyes, it's over. Because you have you have a very smoldering like look in the eye, and I know you can eye fuck like a motherfucker.
Why would he say that?
I think they do that to me first, and then I might like glance back. But like that's how I always know when some man is because I always catch him staring, and then he like goes back. But like I always catch them staring. Like it's like because they're just like. And then I'm like looking over, and then they're like, "Oh, and then they go back." But like, I always catch them when they're staring. I always know because they like literally freeze. It's like Medusa, like they just like turn to stone. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see if he makes his way over here.
Do they have?
Speaking of Medusa, I didn't know, and I didn't know this till I got older. So. I think my mama told me when I was older, because I used to ask who it was, but she never really got in debt until I was old enough to understand. Because she said, it was told that she told me, hey, she turned me stone when she looked. And I said, okay. But then she said, that's when I got older to understand. She said that Medusa, they thought that her hair was snakes, but it was really dreads. And I was like, oh, so she had to get, when I was older to understand. I never, and this is a sidebar conversation, I never really knew the full one. I think she told me that we was watching Odyssey or something like that, a long ass movie. And and then that's when I got older, she explained who Medusa was and, the things that she did. People didn't know what was on her head, and they was just in shock because it was so long and her head was full of dreads, which was hair. Her hair was dreaded. And Medusa, she was she was a Black Greek woman, but if we go down in history, how Egyptians kind of went to Greece at one point, to have business, because Egyptian women can do what they wanted, it makes sense. But that's the story for another day.
I need you to make an effort. Because it's like every time I feel like when I go over and I'm like, because I played the game where I like find something stupid to compliment them about, even though like I'll be like, oh, I like your jacket, even though their jacket is ugly. And I'm, and then it's like, I feel like I get over there and then it's like, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. I don't want to do all the work. I'm not going to do all the work. I'm not even going to say I don't want to, because I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so tall, masculine, available.
Yes, very available. Yeah.
Confident.
And I need you to like yourself, to love yourself. People are so mean to themselves these days.
Listen, Geminis, if they trying to talk to you and see how you is, your jacket might be ugly, but I'm for real. I like your jacket. Okay. That's that twin peeking out. And then if the Gemini feel like they say something wrong, girl, I was just lying. Your jacket ugly as hell. Why do y'all do that?
Because of social media. Everyone's sort of like comparing themselves to people.
Yeah, it's
unfortunately.
I met some guys who are just like so mean to themselves. I'm like, Jesus, like.
Now you are EJ fucking Johnson, so do they have to have a coin?
Well, I need to be taken care of, obviously. I mean, if I could.
I mean, but either you got money.
If I could,
well, y'all do that sometimes. If they piss y'all off and y'all be nice, that other twin come on out. Well, remember I talked. Well, your jacket ugly as fuck. You said well, bitch, I was just being friendly. I really don't like you. Y'all do. My friend do. She can be nice. She'll be nice if they nice. Yeah, okay, and then like. Baby, she come to shade assassin. Like, honey, when she was talking to this girl, they were cool. She just started telling everything. Yes, y'all is. Y'all like, I call y'all the sweet and sour patch kids. Y'all sweet, y'all nice. But baby, when somebody piss y'all off, I'll just be like, why did you say it? I be like, okay. And then y'all be ready too. Y'all gear up ready. Y'all ready to, I be like, wait, no. Like I tried to stop her one time when it come to y'all kids, y'all money, and y'all, like y'all family, and anybody say anything wrong, y'all gonna tussle. Y'all will catch a charge. When they come to y'all family, y'all will catch a charge. Baby, I tried to hold her back from a girl. That girl brought up her goddamn kids. She told me, don't touch me. I said, okay. If you go to jail, I'm coming behind you. I'm coming to get you. I'll make sure we got you. It won't take us long. We'll come get you, girl. Yeah, she didn't give a damn. She was about, man, I never forget. I felt so bad for that girl. I say, just leave her alone. Don't say nothing else. She was really finna snatch her up and drag her through the store. I said, don't say nothing else. Child. Yes, honey, read them down. Them Gemini.
I'm not taking care of anyone. Like, I'm not a sugar mama. No, like, I don't, that the girls, you don't marry to take care of him. Like, he's marrying to take care of you. I mean, it just depends on what you want, but he's not marrying into my system. We're getting married and starting our own system.
I like the way he said,
but
they said that. I'm gonna be nice because I don't know if he watching, but they said that because that is a thing. Like he say girls. He's talking about ladies too. He say, listen, He's not marrying you for you to take care of him. He's marrying you so he has to take care of you. So that's true. Like I see a lot of women, no, baby. That was a good advice that he threw in there, that EJ threw in there. Hey, you don't forget, just because he's not married to yourself, but he still has to be a provider. Whoever you marry, you need a provider. That's true. That's true though. That was a good advice.
To be clear about that. But like, I don't want to be like just only thinking about money, but like it is something that,
that helps.
I guess a lot of people spend time like obsessing over. But honestly, again, it's not like I'm looking for that. But again, it's like you said before, these are the rooms I'm in. So everyone's either bought into a coin or made their coin. The coins are there.
What?
The rooms are made of coins. So it's like, I don't have to like go out of my way to find.
Hey, sidebar, y'all. I'm going to talk about it this weekend, but Queen Naija and Clarence are engaged. Finally. She got this big, Clarence ain't do bad with the ring. The ring is huge. I told y'all they're probably engaged and we don't know about it. That ring is fat. So congratulations to Queen and Clarence. They kept that private. I'm happy for her. She finally got her ring, y'all.
Financially substantial men. That's all I'm saying.
What are your thoughts on this? Like you touched on it a bit earlier, the whole like Nepo baby. And listen, and I've said this publicly, there's nothing more than I love seeing rich Black kids. Because I feel like, good, because you don't see it often. And when you see it, and I feel like it should be celebrated more.
Yeah.
I love rich Black kids. Because I'm like, good. Your parents work their asses off. You have a good life. And take that shit and continue to build the generational wealth. But obviously there's another side globally where people do feel like you didn't earn this. And, listen, let's call it out. A lot are jealous and a lot of them just feel like it's easy for you guys. What are your whole thoughts on that?
It's so cute. It's I want one.
Like I said, it's not easy. It's like, it's not easy. Because I'm just saying either way.
Tiptoe, sashay, flare out that sundress in the tulips, honey. I know for sure.
Like I was saying about the shadow, it's like the same complaint or the same difficulties arrive even if your parents are not even famous, they're just very wealthy. Like you still have a shadow to work under. And like I didn't even realize that. But like I was talking to a guy whose dad was, they're older money, but like also his dad was like, a very well-known producer. And he was like, I hate it. I hate when everyone is like, oh, I worked with your dad and he was great, or I did this with your dad and he was wonderful. He's like, I hate it. I can't stand it. And I was like, well, why does it bother you so much? And he's like, because like I have my own things going on and nobody wants to talk about that. We're just talking about this. We're just talking about him. And I was like, yeah, I used to feel that way until I, had to I put myself first in my own life. And then it didn't matter what anyone's saying to me on the street, But I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like the double-edged sword. Like you can't win. You can't win because on one hand, you get the people who are like, oh my God, that's great. You have all this money and you have a leg up, or you can do whatever you want. But like, then you have the people who are like, well, you didn't work. Well, you didn't, especially like, the actors, like those kids who come from, who have huge parents are huge actors. Like they can't catch a break. Because on one side, everyone's loving it. On the other side, we're like, oh, well, you're taking roles away from people who've worked many, many years to, be an actor. And now you're just coasting on, riding it on some coattail. But it's like, that's something I can't control. I can't control who my parents are. Like, I didn't control who my dad was. Like, I just was born and that was it, So it's like, it's all you get it from both ends. But like, I don't really think about it. I don't really think about it. But I, for myself, even as I'm like, acting is definitely on the top of my list for this year to get into way more of. But like in my time off, I've been in acting classes, and literally I told myself, I was like, you're going to need to like really train, because they will say that about you.
Yeah.
They will be like, oh, you're only here because, and there were kids in my acting classes who said that. Well, you don't really need to be here. You don't really have to do this.
They would say that today.
I mean, like in my acting class when I was there, they were like, oh, girl, you don't have to be here because like, you'll get booked regardless. You'll do, you already have it made. And I'm like, yeah, but like, number one, being booked to just get booked is not my goal. Like, I want to be great. And that's why I'm here. But also because like, I want to do the work. It's like, I want to be the best I can be. This has nothing to do with just riding a coattail. If I really believed that, then I wouldn't be here. I would have just been calling all our connections and agents and all of our friends who, our family friends who are producers or in the industry, like, but I didn't do that, so it's like, it's just one of those things that like you can use however you want to use it. If use your connections if you want, and then leave it. Cause it's like, it doesn't matter what the public is thinking, because they're always going to be those two sides of the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'll say this public, because I don't give a shit. I want more Black Nepo babies to use their connections. Like cause the thing is this, listen, historically, the white kids did it. And I'm not, and let's be clear, I'm not mad at it. Do it. But I do feel like when it comes to our community.
Do you think that they're not using it?
They are using it.
No, the Black kids though. You think they're not using their connections?
I feel like the thing is, they're not using it and being like, fuck you. Like, have no fucks to give if you are. Like, for example, Lori Harvey, who obviously is Steve Harvey's daughter. And she recently appeared on the Hulu show Reasonable Doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Reasonable Doubt.
I read about that.
And did a great job. Like, did a wonderful job. But to me, it's sort of like, sure, did she get a leg up? Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, we're not going to pretend like that wasn't the case. But in her defense, everybody, EJ was like, oh, this bitch can act. And they were pleasantly surprised by it, right? And she did an interview, I believe it was on The Real Jennifer Hudson, and she acknowledged that, look, he is my dad. I get it. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. I think for me, it was just like one of those things that's like, listen, you can book me on a role because of my last name. Like, that is completely your right. The casting directors, the producers, or whatever, you can book me however, for whatever reason you want to. But it is my responsibility to give an unforgettable performance, to give a powerful performance that is remembered, and so they can say, oh, that bitch really can act.
Yeah.
That's my job. So I did my part. Like, I've done the work. Like, I'm confident in my skills and my talent. So therefore, when the camera starts rolling, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Now and in the comment section, you can say whatever you please. Like, that's on all of you. But it's like, again, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
It's like, he is my dad, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
same thing.
I ain't gonna lie. It really ain't. That's his daddy. That's their daddy. Like, Magic is the father of the kids. It's nothing nobody can do. I agree with Carlos. I like seeing rich Black kids. I don't care if you rich or whatever. I like for kids. Let me tell you something. I like to see people grow up, accomplish their goals, especially Black people. I like to see people that came from nothing and was like, no, I'm not going to let this define me. I like seeing that. And the reason I like seeing that is because of the fact is that you don't see enough of that. It's not enough representation. It's deserving. I don't care if you own a business, you got restaurant chains, you want to leave it to your kids. I love seeing the kids excuse me, now that be working and trying to sell. I like seeing that. I love seeing that. And then when they get older, they have their own business plan. I love it. I love it. Keep doing it, honey. It is needed. Trust.
In her case, it's like, what do you know? It's like, people just need to be mad about something, to be honest.
Oh, 100%.
It's like everyone needs, they always have to be mad about something, Shale, in the comments. Like, it's very sad. I feel sad for those people. I really do.
Yeah.
And the one thing I want to say, pay attention to how now everybody want to start this propaganda, because it's a lot of Black elites coming up. It's a lot of Black ownerships that made their first $1 billion company. How you got to eat the rich. I'm going to leave it right there. All right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just like,
pay
wow.
attention.
So so the goal for you in 2026, you're in acting classes. So movies, TV shows, you want to do everything.
Yeah. I've been training since like 2018. So it's been like 7 years now, or 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's gotten to the point where I'm ready to handle bigger roles and bigger opportunities. But yeah, definitely television, movies, I've got my eye on a couple of projects that are casting currently and soon. And so I'm just going full force. I'm just super excited about it.
Do you know what I see you doing?
What?
All's fair. I see you being like a paralegal.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No, I didn't watch it.
Okay.
No, I mean, some people like it.
Oh, I love it. It's camp. But I'm saying
it's very campy.
I see you, baby, being a paralegal, and you are like that paralegal who was like very stern, and the fashion's there, and I love
this character already.
No, so Ryan Murphy, please take it. But I see you being like how Diane Carroll was.
But that's my character. I want to be the Dominique Devereaux of some show.
Okay.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? We need that.
I love Dominique Devereaux. I still love her to this day. That's where the beluga came from. When we talk about beluga whale over there on the mommy content, that's where it came from.
We need it. One place where we really do need it. We need it on White Lotus. We need a rich Black bitch, really badly. We need that. I mean, come on.
Yes,
I love Natasha. Love it that she was working there. I'm glad she added color, but we need the rich Black bitch, really badly.
Because they exist.
Because they exist. But I think that they're afraid because they don't know that world, because there's so few of us in the world who actually really move and groove in that way.
Did you feel like that growing up? Were there a lot of Black kids in the schools you would go to or vacations?
Yeah, I mean, there was a few, but it's number one, it's we all knew each other, growing up, especially a lot of us, especially the ones who were in the same age group, we all kind of grew up together. So even if we didn't go to school together, we knew of each other.
Like the Wayans or
the Washington kids and I are close in age. Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah.
So I grew up with his daughter Olivia. We're a year apart. The Jacksons, Samuel Jackson's daughter is a couple years older than me. We're very close. I grew up with all of those kids.
Okay.
And also some I came to know later, but it's honestly this.
Yeah.
And I said, we all know each other. We all know the players. Everybody goes to everybody's birthday parties and events and stuff, but it's it's a very small community. But it's I just, the writers and the producers, they just don't know, And I think we've always just missed the opportunity for rich Black people, affluent Black shows. And I want something so badly.
Yeah.
Every time I watch one, I'm no, this is not it. This isn't it. It's Empire was a little more street.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't not the refinement of it all, which was fine. And then there was a British one I watched on Amazon, which was also, I did just about a hair care.
That
wasn't right. That one didn't read. And that one that was supposed to be about the Hamptons. I'm this is not how
hold on.
people of this caliber behave.
I got to
like,
disagree, honey.
No, that's just not. There's no. The class isn't there. The
Riches. I wish it did had another season, and the reason I say that is because when I tell you I watched Riches, it's on Amazon Prime. The dad had the mom helped the dad start the hair company, and he got remarried, and he was trying to figure out some stuff with the company and trying to get in contact with his daughter because he when he left, he started a whole nother family, and his daughter, she worked in marketing at a top-notch company in the States. It's based in the UK. Their family Nigerian, and the woman that plays it, she's from the UK. She's Nigerian. He said somebody was trying to do something to him. Baby, when I tell you, the new wife was sleeping with somebody, child, and baby, it was a good one. And the kids one of the kids, they wanted to be they were going partying every night, and child, it was a mess, but it was a good show. Like, he found out his dad had his lawyer. The lawyer, okay, so the daddy lawyer poisoned him and wanted some of his company. And he was trying to keep it. He was embezzling money. So the daughter was like, something ain't right. She came back. Her brother say, run the company. Show them, run the company. And she had to get everybody to keep their shares so it won't be sold. So she did that. She kept the shares. Baby, when they got down to it, the lawyer sat there and killed the daddy because he wanted that man's shares and wanted the company and was trying to put him because he was stealing money. Y'all go watch it. It's called Riches on Amazon Prime. It's so good. I need it back. On the show. I'm going to get back to the interview. J. Marie, how you doing?
Feynman isn't there.
Yeah, go watch.
The language isn't there. Like, and also as I'm also getting into writing too, I think I just have to write my own.
I was going to say the reason why it's not there is because first of all, you're right. You have to have the lived experience to even know that exists. And number two is because you haven't written it yet.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I am working on it for sure. But it's very true. Because it's like, no one would really know because it's like the doors are closed for anybody to find out like, what it really looks and feels like, to be honest. But a lot of it has to do with also learning how to flourish in the white world, because like your schooling and those communities, you're going in with like the elite of the white world, the Caucasian world as well. And that's very important to learn how to not only be, but also flourish, because these are the kids you're competing with. These are the kids you're learning with. These are the kids you're growing with. Like, and that's a whole other stratosphere.
Yeah.
You have to write this.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I am working on it.
Is fashion still your passion?
Yeah.
Fashion, we're also doing big things in 2026 as well. I'm working on some more projects, I guess. But what I'm really coming to terms with is like, it's a legacy. This is going to be, the stuff I'm working on is a long burn. I'm building companies and empires and things of that nature. This is not just like, oh, here I am being cute, or here I am launching this stupid product, or, selling some bullshit on Instagram. Like, I'm not that girl. Like, I really am interested in having powerful dialogues and creating meaningful companies that are actually really going to benefit, everyone. Not just, the fashion community. But also, we don't have a queen. We don't have a reigning queen coming to talk to everybody, tell everybody what's cute, what's not cute, what's ugly, and what works and what is not working. And I've been waiting and I've been praying for someone to come along for many years now. And then finally I looked at myself and I was like, bitch, I think it's you. And I'm like, damn it. Like, I don't want to do it, but
why not?
But no, I have to do it.
Okay, thank you.
I have to do it. Yeah, we don't have anybody. Anna's out. Everyone's out.
Andre Leon Talley passed away.
I know. And like, I really wish, I'm like, girl, like if I could just like bring you back and give you the crown so then I don't have to do the work, like I'd rather that. But I think he's like, I think about him a lot. And like, I've read a lot of his books and read his, and, you know, his documentaries. And like, I feel like that bitch is like guiding me. Like, I'm feeling he's like, you gotta go get to work, bitch. I'm like, all right, bitch, I'm doing it. But he's, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a talent. I actually bought one of his jackets at auction a couple years ago, right after he passed. And like, it's one of my most prized possessions. I love it. It's really beautiful.
No, but the thing is this, I feel like this is your time and your season.
It is.
You know, you took, when EJ in the City did not come back.
This is a verified refurbished iPhone 15. It costs up to 70% less than new. And it's just as powerful.
Yeah, we know.
What I love about you is
that market gonna have it.
There's not a thirsty bone in your body.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you allowed yourself to just like enjoy life and be a human. And I feel like in the past recent months, your Instagram is back activated. The photos that yes, EJ, I'm on.
Thank you,
honey. The photos, the portfolio you're building.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
That was my first goal, was to get a handle on that, because that's why I hated posting for so long. Because like, you know, I did that. I was at the forefront when people were posting looks, and like I was at the beginning of that before it was even like a thing. You know, it's like, so like I couldn't continue on just doing it to do it, and I wasn't going to compete with all these other, you know, these other bitches who think that they're bomb and they're not bomb. And like, I just had to find a way to tell the story the way that I wanted to. And I was like, oh, well, you know, what don't we have? Oh, we don't have a fabulous fashion magazine anymore because like, you know, nobody reads. And, you know, we don't have, these magazines are not putting in the budget and the effort to create these beautiful magazines that we grew up with. And I was like, that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to make a very high editorial, you know, all of the Harper's Bazaars and the Vogue shoots that I was obsessed with as a kid. And I'm going to tell the story and also show this highest version of myself through that lens that I've always loved. And that's where I kind of got on that. And so now I'm going to start adding video component. So now we'll do some more talking. We'll do some more, you know, kind of showing and educating, because I think that's also very important. People are really missing the mark right now. Like, I'm glad everybody's at the table. You know, social media and the fact that like, you know, everything kind of just blew up, and like, you know, everyone's at the table with fashion. Because before, like, you know, especially when I was like, you know, moved here in, you know, 2010 in college and in the early blog days, it's like that door was like closed.
Yeah.
Like if it was impossible. You had to get, you know, an Anna Wintour or somebody to come and be like, oh, you can come in. But shit about Kim and you know, but she had that one period from like 2015 to like 2017 where, you know, bless Kanye. I don't know what's going on with him, but when he was a part of it, the looks were great.
Can I tell you something? And this is me telling you the God's honest truth. I was literally talking to somebody maybe 2 months ago, and for some reason, one of Kim's looks came on my feed, and I went down the rabbit hole of these iconic looks that were ahead of its time. Like, one time it was like a latex dress, and I'm just like, and it was hot pink, and I'm like, aviator glasses, and I'm like, wait a minute, this was like everything. And then I was like, oh, this is the Kanye era.
Yeah.
Who listen, I'm only talking about his genius in terms of like fashion.
No, I have to give the credit when it's due. And he really, and I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on with him. I have no idea. I'm not.
Kanye, when I seen Kanye support Diddy, and I heard from one of his fan pages, people that's over it, that he said he does the same thing with his now wife, allegedly. And it got removed. Kanye on an FYI on another level. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. All right, let's continue.
You know, condoning any of the messaging that he's been putting out, because it's been just ugly and crazy.
Yes.
But it is the loss of a great, you know, it's almost like a passing, you know, It is almost like a passing, because he was an incredible eye for style. You really couldn't beat it.
Incredible music.
He had an incredible eye for style and fashion. You look at his looks, the looks he put her in at the time. Like, I mean, wow. Like he really was brilliant. It is just, it's just a mourning of a loss, to be honest. It's just like, wow. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I had to co-sign that one.
Yeah.
I literally was talking about that recently.
Yeah, it's really that just like for her, it's just that one fashion week. Unfortunately, it was the fashion week she got robbed. But the looks of that fashion week.
I have to go back and look.
Dressed.
Mm-hmm.
Dressed.
All right, so EJ, let the girls know what is next for you. How can they support you, follow you, all those things?
You can follow my Instagram. Keep your eye on me. Yeah, like I said, it's like there'll definitely be some acting moments coming very shortly. They've got video content coming in on the socials. Right now I just have Instagram, but I've been talking about adding like a TikTok and some other things. So I think that's probably somewhere down the line as well. But yeah, totally keep involved because we're literally just getting started. Like there's just like so many fabulous things that like we're getting ready to do, and like both in the short term and the long term. So all the terms are covered.
Products, projects, the whole thing. You're not here for a short time, you're here for a long time.
Yeah.
And I love that about you. Like you're, again, I keep saying this, but I think in a world where people feel the need to just put themselves out there for the sake of being out there and afraid of being irrelevant, I love the fact that you're more focused on like building a foundation that lasts, even after years of you. And that's amazing.
All right, y'all. That was all. It was a pretty nice interview. It was pretty nice. He said what he said, child. All right, listen. Let me end this live. I'll be back in 12:45. We got some Brianna battle going against everybody, including the twins' baby daddy T. Child, they got crazy last night, and we gonna talk about it. I'll see y'all in a few minutes. Bye, y'all. Child. Ooh.